Good morning, class. It is Mr. Kane, and it's May 18th. So we're going to start up a new assignment here, and you should have completed your Google Sheets models. And believe it or not, if you're going to go on to college or you're going to do any type of office work, anything to do with estimating, math, you're going to run into Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. So you may not believe it now, but I think that you'll be happy that you were exposed to Google Sheets, because you'll most likely, especially if you go on to college in any type of mathematical major, anything from business and statistics to engineering, you'll be using Excel. So you'll have a little bit of a leg up and feel more comfortable using that. The other thing that's super important to know, if you're going to be a professional consultant, is to how to prepare a report, a proper report. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how to format the general layout of a technical report. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up a Google Doc. And so I have one open here that you'll see. And what we're going to call this, we're going to base this around our disaster proof transition shelters for the Philippines project. Obviously, this could be for anything. This could be a financial report. This could be an engineering report, an environmental report, basically anything. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come up here and put a title in. Your title should be meaningful, and sometimes it can include your name, sometimes not. But we'll just call this disaster proof transition shelters or transition shelter. Um, and maybe we'll put a comma here and we'll put Philippines, and I'm going to do Kane, comma, R period. Okay, hit return. Now we have a title. It's good enough. And so the basic layout of this report is going to be a title page. There's going to be a footer. There's going to be a table of contents, which is actually going to be linked to all of your headings and subheadings. We'll do a little bit of technical writing, but that's really not the focus of this. And then the last part is a section called appendices, where you're going to put a lot of your exhibits. That could be anything from um, images, articles, maps, data tables, data graphs, all that good stuff. Sometimes you put, like, say, data tables or graphs inside the body of your report, but many times you may just put a couple of those and then have the full complete list of figures in the appendices section. So first thing we want to do is create a title page. And the title page should be positioned kind of down in the middle of the page. And you can use a lot of different styles here, but I like to do kind of a large font, bold, and in the middle and center justified. So let's go to size 18. Let's go to bold. Arial is a good font. It's clean. It's acceptable in most, you know, citation formats. And then if we go to center justified, it'll put it right in the center here. So um, many times the name of your file is going to be kind of the name of your report. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to bring it down here and I'm going to paste it. Okay, we can verify. Oop, I must have spelled Philippines wrong. So disaster proof transition shelters. Maybe we will put shelters here actually. Um, that's going to be the name. And then what you can do here is um, we can we can do kind of a number of things here. Um, but what I like to do is go back down to a smaller font, say 14, and I'll go italics and I'll say prepared for. And in your case, you're preparing this for me. So I'm going to I'm going to come here. I'm going to say Mr. Kane, um, Engineering 2, Kennebunk High School. Okay. And then what I can do is just copy this kind of part of it, copy, paste, and you can say prepared by. And you can do your name here. And this would be your company name. Okay. And actually, I'd like you to put your company name here, actually, and you can make one up now. You can say XYZ Engineering, disaster proof consultants, whatever you want. Put your company name, company address, and actually up here we might want to put our address for your client. And so company address, and you obviously want to put your name here. Just find out um, who wrote this here. So we'll unbold that, and we'll actually, we don't want any of this italicized. This could be bold and italicized right here to separate it, but then these can just be standard. Um, and then what I'd like you to do is just go off to the internet and pick off a logo that you can put here. Oh, the other thing actually you're going to need is the date. So we'll put in here May 18th, 2020. And then grab like a photo, insert image. Let me see here if we've got anything. Well, we'll come back to that. But basically, if you just go out to the internet and select any type of JPEG and just insert it in here, and then under it, you can just put the name of your company again. So let's say it was Environmental Consultants Inc. And what you could do here is just to style it up a little bit, is kind of make it a little smaller. You could choose like a funky font if you want, okay? And then you'd have a nice logo here, all right? Okay, so I'm going to zoom out just so you can kind of take a look at this. You can already see we've got the makings of kind of a nice title page. But what I'm actually going to do is get a little separation here between your title and prepared for and by. Let me get a little separation on this date just so we space things out nice. And again, like I said, you could have a nice image here. Trying to see if I've got any clip art. Let's see here. Let's see. Go to Google Images and we'll put like ocean wave. And I'll just grab this one here. How about that? Actually, this looks like a nice one. And I'm going to say, I'll choose that one. We'll say insert. And it's right up here. So this is the other thing you're going to need to know. When you click on your image, we want to resize this, but we also want to format it. You have inline, wrap text, and break text. We typically want to go wrap text. That's going to allow us to put it kind of where we want. I'm going to make it a little smaller, and that way I can kind of drag it around and fit it in here. You can just click and drag. So you can see here, we can kind of center it. Now we've got, a nice, we've got a nice title page here. Okay. Another thing you can do is kind of, okay, so, well, in any event, disaster-proof transition shelters, Philippines. You could have maybe even a subheading here where we say something like, solving, developing nations, housing crisis, or something like that. But at the very least, this is a very good start for your title page and kind of the bare bones. Now, the next thing we want to do is I'm going to zoom back in. And this is another technique you're going to need. At the very end of the last thing that you write, where your cursor is blinking, okay, you're going to want to, you don't want to go to a new page by hitting the return button. What you want to do actually is go insert and you want to go to break and you want to go to page break. Okay? That hard codes in an actual break and keeps this title page completely separate. And so that when you're backspacing and filling in text, it's not moving everything around. Um, so now the next thing we want to do here is establish that this is the table of contents. So I'm going to go just bold, size 12, and I'm going to do table of contents. Okay, and I want to get out of this railway and go to aerial. All right. Now, here's the next thing you're going to want to do. Hit return a couple of times. And we're going to want to go insert, and we're going to come all the way down here to the table of contents, and we're going to select this one with the numbers. Okay, so what this is going to do is actually format an automatically linked table of contents. And you can see here, we don't have anything because what we need to start doing now is adding content. So we're in this formatted table of contents box. We never want to type in here, okay? We want to get out of here, and you can see we're not in there anymore. So I'm in here now, and I'm out, okay? Here's the next thing you want to do. You want to say insert, insert break, and we want to break again, okay? And then here's where we're going to start putting in our major headings and subheadings, okay? So what we want to do is go back to our left justified, our left alignment for now. Well, yeah, we'll go back to our left alignment. And the very first heading you typically have in your report is called the executive summary. So we're going to call that 1.0 executive summary. And then we're going to do 2.0 introduction. And then we'll say 3.0. Maybe we'll just call it transition chapter technology. And then we'll maybe say 4.0. And maybe we call this one, initial prototype. And 5.0 prototype testing. And maybe we'll say 5.1 wind tunnel test and 5.2 water flume test. Okay. We'll say maybe 6.0 final design, 7.0 conclusion, and 8.0 appendices. Okay. Now, here's the most important thing. For these major headings that end in 0, we can highlight those. And what we want to do is change their format from normal to heading 1. Okay? Make them big. 5.1 and 5.2, these are going to be obviously heading 2s that fit up under heading 1. Okay? And then we can go back to these 3 again, which are heading 1s, and format those. Now, here's the cool thing. We'll end up typing inside these sections. But for now, let's go back and watch what happens with our table of contents. So there's nothing here now. We're going to click in there once, and we're going to hit this refresh button. And you can see there that it's building our table of contents for us. Okay? And it lists the page number that it's on. Now, as we start typing and these start moving down into more and more pages, we can just come up here, click on this again, and hit refresh. And it'll change the page numbers for us. Okay? But never type in here. Don't put your cursor in here and start typing. This is all automatically done for you. Okay? And then the last thing we're going to do is double click down on the bottom of your page. And we're going to end up putting a footer in here. And we're going to start writing some material in some of these sections. But that'll be for our next video. Okay, so start with this and we'll move on from there.